Tech Enthusiast. I'm Neil.
And I'm Simon, and we're back.
We are.
It's been a while.
A little bit.
I'd like to say it's been weeks. It's been months.
Months. Definitely multiple months.
I think there must have been at least 58 mobile phone releases between the time we stopped recording.
It's just not true, Simon. They put production on hold because they heard we were no longer making the show.
Yeah, they could not think of a new mobile phone idea.
Absolutely not. There's none out there. Well, I mean, after all the talking we did about mobile phones when we were on the air previously, I finally pulled the trigger and bought a new phone.
I never got one.
Did you know? You never got round to it?
I never got round to getting a new phone. So go on, what's your new phone, Neil?
I have got the Huawei Mate 9. Not the Huawei P9, as everyone seems to think I'm talking about whenever I talk to them about it. It's the Mate 9.
So is the Mate 9... almost like the Samsung modelling where call it the Note when it's the bigger one? Note didn't want to use Note, so they used Mate?
Possibly.
Because is the P9 as big as yours?
I don't think the P9 is slightly smaller.
Maybe that could be it.
This is a 5.9 inch screen.
That just has... You know what? I was at an event the other day and there was a kid there and everyone uses the phones for cameras now, don't they? The cameras. So we passed the camera to someone to take a photo of us and a few other people. They're like, how big is this phone? And it was 6.5 inches.
That is the pure definition of phablet.
And I was like, oh my God, what phone is that? And he said, oh, I've had it a couple of years. I was thinking, if you've had that 2 years, when I came out, that must have been like having a laptop. Because think of the bezel back then as well.
Oh God, yeah.
Because it would have been attacked. I'm sure the bezel on your Mate 9 is quite minimal.
Barely noticeable.
But a phone a couple of years ago with a 6.5 inch screen. Yeah. I bet it was like an iPad mini. I didn't hold it myself, but I imagine it was a huge... Because the Nexus 6 was 6 inch.
Yeah.
So bigger than that.
Crazy.
So your 5.9 is probably the size of what? An iPhone Plus?
I think it is, yeah. I think they're very, very similar sizes. I think mine's actually slightly smaller. I went out the other night with some people from work and we ended up lining our phones up, and I think mine was the second biggest phone in the line.
The second? Who had the biggest?
I can't remember who it was. I was very drunk.
What was it?
I don't remember. I was very drunk.
There can't be that many phones.
No, but mine might have been the biggest. I might be misremembering through alcohol sickness.
I like how this is what we measure now. Went out drinking. Everyone get the phone out. Who's got the biggest phone?
Yeah.
It used to be... back in the day, who's got the smallest phone?
Yeah, I remember getting really, really kind of fed up of small phones getting smaller and smaller because I was like, these are ridiculous. My big fat fingers just can't push these buttons.
Well, do you know what? I know we started talking about your phone, Neil, but we've moved on. The E10 is going to get a reissue. And what blew me away is obviously now there's lots of stories about the original phone, and the screen resolution was 84 by 84 pixels.
Whoa.
And one letter on your phone, on reading Google or whatever, it's going to have more pixels than the entire phone on the 3310. So now we're going to go back to your phone now.
Yeah, I mean, that is ridiculous. And it depends how it's going to come out. Surely it can't be just in its original format. Surely it's got to be modernised in some way.
Feature phones are having a comeback, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, if anything, it will have a better screen, surely.
Well, the suspected price point is going to be £60.
Right.
So you can get a low-end Android phone for £60.
Yeah.
So the question would be, do you put in a better screen?
Yeah.
Try and compete with that, or do you go the entire nostalgia route
and just have it a full-on granny phone?
Yeah. I don't think they're going to make the massive improvements, because even if you did put a high-resolution screen, because if you think of the physical size of that screen back then, is there any point in putting a high-res screen of that physical dimension? Because you're not going to be able to get much more information on that screen.
Yeah.
And then once you get into, is it going to run Android, or is it going to... Was it Symbian?
Oh, God.
No, that was Symbian. Was there Smart OS, wasn't it?
Yeah.
God, what would it do? We probably didn't even have a name.
No,
It's probably just
probably did have a
Nokia
name, but
OS.
nobody was aware of it.
Well, you weren't aware of it because you weren't allowed to update it.
Yeah, nobody gave a monkeys about it.
You had to send it back to manufacturer to get updated, didn't you? We're going to have to wait and see, I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my money on feature phone.
Yeah, could well be. Yeah,
I don't think they're going to bother putting a camera in it or anything. I think it's going to straight true to form, 60 quid. Use it as a burner.
I was going to say, it's going to be the drug dealer phone of choice.
So your phone, it's a big phone.
It is a very big
Chinese
phone.
manufacturer.
Yep.
They're taking over the Android market.
I'm absolutely loving it as well. It's a really, really nice phone. It is running their version of Nougat. So it's, I can't remember what they call it. I want to say EMUI, but I don't think that's right because there's not the code on your phone.
That's the MEI, isn't it?
Yeah,
IMEI,
something.
IMEI.
That's the one. Yeah. It might be EMUI 5.0.
I think it is EMUI.
Yeah, but it is actually really nice. It's got a couple of, like any time you upgrade a phone, it's got a couple of new things that you're like, I'm not that bothered about that, and then it's got a couple of new things that you're like, hey, that's great.
We are at the point we were saying this with all the phone releases last year. They're all the same.
Yeah,
there's nothing real stand out because we were both excited about the Pixel.
Oh yeah,
we were even on the phone to each other as the release was happening, excited to buy it.
Yeah,
and then the price was announced and the excitement disappeared because
very quickly.
No way in paying that much for that phone.
The blue one's now going to be available in the UK.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
Well, no, because you can't even get the 128 gig Google the big one anyway, can you? Yeah. They call it the Plus, the Pixel.
I can't remember.
So yeah, it's so hard to get hold of that phone.
Yeah.
For a while, after I got over the shock of the price, and it was put into perspective by the release of the MacBook, that I was like, but I'm going to get one. And the only reason I didn't is because I couldn't actually get hold of one.
Yeah.
By which time I thought, you know what?
Beyond caring.
I'm beyond caring, and if I'm going to buy a phone now, it's going to be a OnePlus 3T.
Yeah.
It really is. I can't imagine spending more money than that to get a better phone.
Yeah.
Because for me, the only weak point on that phone is the camera.
Yeah.
And I'm not particularly fussed about the camera, so why spend more money just to have a better camera in the phone? And the thing that we both loved about the Pixel being Google Assistant, so their digital assistant, they just announced they are going to put it on the phones finally.
Yeah.
So I don't see it.
No, I don't either, unfortunately. And you know, you listen to other people talking, they still say, oh, this new phone's coming out, it's great. It's not quite the Pixel, but it is great. And you just think, oh, God, if only they'd done a better job of releasing it and making it not £1 million. And
it was still too expensive.
Yeah.
If you're getting to the point where it's the same price as the iPhone...
Yeah.
No.
No,
I think you need to be slightly cheaper. Even if you're a premium handset, there's no point just copying Apple's pricing structure and saying, that's what makes it premium because we've got the same pricing structure.
Yeah.
Well, in fair play to Apple, it took them 10 years to ramp up to that price point.
Yeah.
It's a bit unfair if you just come in and you go at that price point. Ramp up a little. Well, I suppose Nexus, but then they dropped that line, didn't they, and called it Pixel so they could reset the price.
Yeah. I did toy with the idea of the OnePlus 3T myself because I had the OnePlus 1 and the OnePlus 2. So OnePlus 3T
so why didn't you get the OnePlus
3T? I wanted a bigger phone. I wanted a bigger phone. I had a 5.5 inch screen already, and I wanted something a bit bigger because I've got enormous hands, and I just thought I just like having the screen real estate. So
yeah. Do you watch movies or videos a lot on your phone?
I'll sometimes watch, I watch a lot of YouTube clips. Like if I'm running through websites and stuff, I will watch the videos on my phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't watch movies on my phone. That's just I wouldn't do that. It'd be a rubbish experience.
Because the reason I like the bigger screen is because I'm using touch-based screen reader.
Yeah.
The more physical space, the bigger gaps between on-screen elements. So it's easier for me from a touch-based perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you get a bigger battery as well.
Yeah, definitely. 4,000 milliamp hours on this battery.
Wow.
And it's lasting really, really well. There's a few annoying little things, like there's a lot of, again, it'll be part of the EMUI 5.0, there's a lot of battery management stuff going on. And despite the fact that you can like tick things up and say, don't try and battery manage these apps because I don't want you to, it still flashes up a warning on your lock screen
power,
saying, this is using a lot of power. And it's like, I know, just leave me alone.
That's always the great thing about Android, though, the fact that it can be that nuanced.
Yeah.
And that's what Apple's always lacked.
Yeah.
But, you know, it lacks it for a reason. Control.
Yeah.
Things work. But we might as well quickly talk about the MacBook Pro, because that came out.
It did, yeah, since we last recorded.
Huge price tag.
Yeah, it's dumb little gimmick.
You know, I went for, I'm not going to get it, to visit to the Apple Store a couple of times. I'm not going to get it. Now I'm like, I could get one while I'm in America. Because now, thanks to Brexit, thank you Brexit, I can get the 15-inch Touch Bar MacBook Pro for less than the 13-inch Touch Bar in the UK. Now, even if I pay for the fly to New York, buy the MacBook and come back, it's still cheaper than me buying it in this country.
I love living in this country. It's so much fun when it comes to buying electronics.
We have picked a hobby / passion that is now becoming incredibly expensive. For example, did you see Microsoft put the Surface Pro up by £400 for the top model? The Sonos.
Yeah.
Some Sonos is up 25%.
Yeah. And the Apple App Store just increased all of their app prices by 25%.
Well, you know what that conveniently did, don't you? Parity between dollar and pound now.
Yeah, so a 99-cent app is a 99p app.
It's become very expensive to be the technology in the UK.
Yeah.
I hope that shifts over the next couple of years. Otherwise, devices like the premium end, like iPhone and the Pixel, the cost will just become... Well, it's going to be over £1,000.
Yeah.
Over £1,000. Which I think what I'll end up doing is waiting and buying them when I'm in another country.
Yeah. I think for a lot of people, they'll just not get them because it's just beyond reach. Or they'll put themselves in a lot of financial hardship in order to do so. Well,
once you get to the point where the phones are costing over £1,000 if you do upgrade every year...
Yeah. That's insane.
A lot. A hell of a lot.
It really is.
Of money. Because the only reason I can keep up with my sort of tech habit is because I only keep a piece of tech for a few months.
Yeah.
So I'll buy it, sell it, get the new one, buy it, and keep that constant cycle. But if you're buying those as one-off, you're going to keep devices.
Yeah.
It's too much.
And they don't even live that long. Really. I mean, if you're thinking, well, I'll buy this one and I'll have it for 4 years, the software is no longer going to be supported.
You probably could get away with it if you buy an Apple, to be honest.
Maybe.
Because a MacBook Pro, if I was to buy it now, would last 4 to 5 years.
Oh, yeah, MacBook Pro, but an iPhone.
No, yeah. I've got the 6S Plus, which is, 18 months old?
Yeah.
That's still pretty solid. But will I upgrade this year? Well, it's probably time for me to upgrade, otherwise if I wait another year...
Yeah, you're going to be struggling.
Yeah, but I think I might go on the iPhone upgrade programme.
Oh yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah, to go on the monthly payment, because it's just too much money.
Yeah. It is crazy money.
Other tech.
Yeah.
The problem is, it's been too much. I can't believe that the Nintendo Switch comes out next week.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
That came out so quick.
Yeah.
Because I was watching TV earlier. Well, I say watching TV. I was just walking out the room with the advert. Come on. And it was the new Zelda. I was like, oh my God, that's next week.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. And it was one of those things as well where if you're reading kind of gaming press and things, people are like, this console's supposed to be out in 6 months and they have not spoken about it at all. What is going on at Nintendo?
Yeah. Well, it does seem to have just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see how it does over the next year, because they're switching to a tablet format.
Yeah.
Because essentially Nintendo target the younger gamer generation.
Yeah, and I think these days as well, an older, more nostalgic generation as well.
But with the younger generation, predominantly they play on tablets as it is.
True.
So why not go to the market that everyone, or the format that everyone's wanting to play on?
Yeah.
You know, arguably you could say they could just release games on iPad or tablet.
Which they are doing at the same time.
Yeah, but at least this way with the Switch, they control the entire thing, the hardware, they can tweak them to be just so. Yeah, I think it's going to be really cool. It'll be interesting to see it pan out between now and Christmas, see what gets released for it.
Yeah, not much probably. That's the bad thing. Because they're never quick to bring the games
in
out.
all fairness, any new console,
the
first year of games is really ropey.
Yeah.
You know, the only console I think that got the release games right was the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Because there was some Fight Night.
Oh, Fight Night was insane.
Incredible.
A lot of
Condemned.
Condemned was brilliant.
Incredible. Yeah, they had some of the best launch titles for console, I think.
Yeah, they really did some good games there.
Really solid.
But yeah, I think the Switch looks really interesting. Fun little console. But I don't know, it's because they're trying to tie in the mobile gaming market and the home console market. I think they might have overstretched a little bit, because like the battery life doesn't sound very good. It's not the kind of thing you're going to be playing on a basketball court with your mates like the advert suggests.
I think when you compare the battery life to the iPad, it's not. But if you would, the difficulty then is, like the battery life on the iPad, you're comparing that to like when you're sat using it, you get 10 hours usage watching a movie. Like, you play a game that's hitting the graphics 100% and see how long that battery lasts. I bet you get an hour. You'll get nothing. Because there was a MacBook Pro battery test, when they're trying to get to the bottom of all the battery issues that he was having. And web surfing, you easily get above 9 hours. Playing a game, 1 hour 20 minutes.
Jeez.
Just because when you're doing normal testing, you're not hitting the GPU all the time, whereas a portable console is hitting the GPU all the time. So that 2-3 hours battery life is actually probably quite good. I'd like to see a cutting edge iPad game next to the Switch and see which battery lasts the longest. I reckon the Switch will probably outperform.
Yeah. Well, Super Mario Run still isn't out on Android.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that other game out though?
Yeah, Fire Emblem came out. I had a play.
Good.
Not really my kind of game. It was heavy. I can see why they were trying to sell you with story, because there's unlike Super Mario Run, which was here's a little taster, now give us £10, which it will be £10 now.
It will be £10. Yeah, it will.
Because it was $10. And you can play the rest. Fire Emblem is literally a free to play, and it's one of these things where you've got limited play time, so you have to go away and come back a few hours later, or you can pay a little bit of money to get a bit extra play time. It's kind of the Candy Crush kind of model. But I've never played a Fire Emblem game before, so I didn't really know what I was getting myself into.
I wonder what the reason behind not releasing Mario for Android yet could be.
I'm guessing Apple paid for a timed exclusive. Because the way they market
it... You think Apple paid for that timed exclusive?
Well, all right.
I would say in negotiation they said,
fair enough.
If you want to be on iOS, we want 4 months. That's why the way it went. I doubt Apple went, here's 10 million.
Yeah.
Probably went, no. Here's how it works, guys. If you want to be on stage and announce it with us, we want exclusive for this amount of time.
Yeah, you're probably right. But it'd have been a timed exclusive deal, I think.
I suppose arguably, consoles do that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the last Tomb Raider game was out a year on Xbox before it came out on PlayStation.
That is in the game world. Talking about games, Team Fortress 2.
Yes.
Did you hear about the 10-year-old bug that got fixed?
No.
Oh my god, right. hitboxes are obviously very important in first-person shooters. If you started the game as one particular character and then changed to another, the hitboxes were way off.
Oh, right.
So you could sort of gain an advantage in the game if you switch between these particular characters. And apparently for years people had been moaning saying, I'm hitbox off, I hit him, going mental. And it wasn't until some modder was trying to put a mod on or something and noticed that, hang on a minute, this doesn't actually align. And then they looked into it, and the bug had been there for 10 years, and it was just one line of code that was wrong.
Oh, right.
So it was a tiny, tiny fix, but it'd been in the game for 10 years.
That's crazy.
So you think if there's a bug like that now in some of these esports games, that could have huge financial consequences to some of these teams.
Yeah.
But talking about that, another thing I read, this was really interesting, because I particularly, but I don't know if you did, grew up on FPS using mouse and keyboard.
Never a big FPS gamer, to be honest.
Right, so I used to love Counter-Strike.
Yeah,
I played a lot of Counter-Strike, like 5-6 hours a day of Counter-Strike. So I was a mouse and keyboard guy, loved it. So then when I got the Xbox 360 and tried to play Halo, I was useless. Really, really bad at it. So then it turned out some people had figured out a hack to get a mouse and keyboard working on the Xbox.
Oh, wow.
So basically, that meant they gained a massive advantage and people started to complain. So the way Microsoft solved it, making it so you can use mouse and keyboard. So now everyone who wants to can choose to use mouse and keyboard.
Right.
So I personally think it's an interesting move forward.
Yeah.
Will make console gameplay even more competitive.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see it at esports when people switch to mouse and keyboard.
Mouse and keyboard, yeah, that's bananas.
Yeah, I know.
You'd have to have like sort of two different divisions, surely. Have one for controller and one for not.
I would imagine everyone's just going to quickly
move over
to mouse and keyboard because it is quicker.
Yeah,
it's a lot quicker.
Oh yeah.
Even
high level of accuracy.
Even on GoldenEye, I was always pretty like, oh no. Yeah, I think it's because as a kid I grew up with digital joypads, so then the switch to analog just seemed so alien. Whereas Grayson, my son, he's fantastic on analog.
Yeah,
he's 6. It's like what? Although it's getting good on the mouse and keyboard now because start to play on the PC a lot.
They grow up fast.
They do. They really do. Gaming god now.
Right. Any other news stories you can think of?
For me this week, let me think. I can talk about what tech I bought recently.
Okay.
Went into the Apple store.
Oh.
Because Beats X had come out. Because I thought, I'm not buying AirPods. I'm going to lose them. I need some headphones that are connected. So I went in to buy some Beats X and I said, I've come for Beats X. Oh, we sold out. I was like, oh. Damn, he said, well, we've got AirPods. I'm like, oh, go on then. So I bought a pair of AirPods and I'm having a love/dislike relationship with them.
Right.
Things I love. Because I do use the screen reader all the time, it's nice to just have one AirPod in.
Right.
Even though you picked on me.
I did have a minor dig at you, yeah.
So you picked on me for doing it. But it basically allows me to have one headphone in.
Yeah.
So then when I used to be out and about, to get my phone out, I either couldn't hear it in public.
Yeah.
Because the screen reader isn't loud enough to go over ambient noise, or I'd have to unravel some headphones, put my headphones in. So it's enabled me to use my phone in places I couldn't previously without blocking out environmental noise.
Yeah.
So it's really great. Obviously, because I only use one, that means I get double the battery life.
Oh yeah,
because just swapping which one I want to put in. So I'm loving it for that. I'm loving the double tap to make calls and activate Siri.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd like that very much, but it turns out it's really great because when I'm out and about and I'm using the guide dog, I've only got one hand free anyway, so now I can just tap
Cool.
the earpiece, make calls, keep the phone in the pocket, ask you the time, whatever.
Yeah.
So really, really cool. So loving them for that. But the bit I really dislike, and actually bought them for this one feature, but apparently I'd misinterpreted the feature. I would perhaps say that Apple missold it. Well, you know. I believe them to auto switch between devices.
Yeah.
So when I picked up my iPhone, used my iPhone to work with my iPhone, put the iPhone down, pick up the iPad, switch to the iPad.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Right.
What happens is you connect them to your iPhone. They connect to every device that you've got logged into iCloud.
Okay.
Which is great. So my iPad, my computer, everything.
Yeah.
But when you pick that device up, you need to go into settings and say connect.
Whoa.
I'm like, what? This isn't auto switching.
No.
Now the pair of bows that I've got can connect to 8 devices.
Yeah.
2 devices simultaneously.
Wow.
So you select which 2 you're by flicking through or an app. So then when I've got my iPhone, put that down, pick up the iPad, and it's straight away.
Yeah.
I ain't got to press anything because it's just connected to both devices at the same time.
Yeah.
So I hoped that's how the AirPods were going to work.
But they don't.
But they don't. Fingers crossed, firmware update, they can figure that out.
Yeah.
I do hope they can, because it does auto switch with the watch and the phone.
Oh, right.
That's how it works. I haven't got the watch at the minute to test that, but apparently, bit of Googling, it does do that. But I used them the other day for the first time outside. So I put them in my ears, put both in, headed out, and I had huge anxiety, because if I dropped them, they're gone.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going to be able to find them.
No.
And I'm like, oh my God, if I drop these, don't drop them. But I did test them in the house. I put them in, I jumped up and down, ran around, spun around, and they don't fall out.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop the anxiety when you're out and about thinking, please don't drop them, please don't drop them, please don't drop them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm enjoying them. I just wish they had all the functionality of the Bose.
Yeah.
And it's software, hopefully, and it'll come in time.
Fingers crossed. You did mention there the Apple Watch.
Yeah.
I've got an Android Wear device. I've got the Moto 360 second generation, which should now have Android Wear 2.0 as of, was it the 13th of February released? Yet to update to Android Wear 2.0, and I'm getting really frustrated because I want it. It's new software, of course I want it.
God, do you know what? I'm an avid updater.
Yeah.
So it comes out, gotta update it.
Yeah.
But I actually, because I was talking about Bose headphones, ruined my Bose headphones doing that. So like, new firmware, like, update. And then it turned out it broke voiceover in a very specific feature. And I do use that feature. I'm like, great. So now I've got a £300 pair of headphones.
That you can't use.
I can, but they don't do what I specifically use them for. It's like, this is really frustrating.
I bet.
But you never learn.
No.
I'm such an early adopter with that. As soon as I say, I've got to update, it comes something good. Because you never think that it's going to introduce new... Because I won't introduce new bugs. They wouldn't release it. New bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reminds me of back in the day when you're downloading the developer version of iOS.
Oh, God, yeah. It was ropey, wasn't it, back then?
Yeah.
That was back when it wasn't the public.
No.
Because you can sign up to the public beta now, can't you?
Yeah.
So
I used to
buy invites on eBay or something?
Yeah, you just buy an invite off of eBay and it cost only a couple of quid, wasn't it? It was like £5 or £6 or something. And then somebody who'd paid the $99 for the developer.
Yeah, then sold 99 licenses.
Sold 99 licenses. Yeah, I mean, that's what we should have been doing, really.
I don't know why we didn't do it that way around. We was like, oh no, we'll buy it.
Yeah. So you do. You just want the latest and greatest, don't you?
Yeah, I've become slightly more wary because we're both heavy WhatsApp users, aren't we?
Yeah.
The past few versions have been very buggy, but I know you don't use the official client, do you?
I don't know. I use a third party.
Yeah, so the official client has got really buggy the last few versions to the point where I've been warning a lot of my friends who use screen readers, don't update, because this boy don't work. Yeah. And that's the first time I've seen that happen with WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is usually rock solid.
Yeah.
Those guys know the stuff, but...
Well, I really like my third-party client, but you make sacrifices, such as it still doesn't have voice calls for the WhatsApp element of the app. So
you know what, that's... Sometimes when I'm trying to call you, I'm like, I've got to use his actual mobile phone.
Say what?
Yeah, usually with people I use WhatsApp, FaceTime, Facebook Messenger if I have to.
Yeah.
Last resort, actual mobile phone number. Never used the mobile phone number.
Yeah. I remember both of us actually being kind of, what is the point in WhatsApp? It is absolutely pointless.
Yeah, we didn't like it when it first came out.
Didn't like it, and then...
No, we didn't like it because what were we using?
We were just using text messages. But
what were we using text messages?
Because you got unlimited text messages, and it just seemed to... I wasn't using anything else, but it seemed to meet a need that I didn't have, basically.
I think back then as well, we were all using... Yeah, because we were all on iPhone, weren't we?
Yeah. Oh, so iMessage had been a big thing, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it just met a need that I didn't have, and then all of a sudden, everybody's on WhatsApp, and you're just going, oh, actually, this is way better.
It was the voice messages for me.
Yeah.
The voice messages totally won me over, and now I rarely type to send a message. In fact, the only time I'll type to send a message, because you can probably tell me sometimes when you get it, it comes through on Facebook Messenger because I've got the iPad out.
Oh, right.
So then I've got the keyboard and I'm like, that's the only message right now. Apart from that, so other tech news.
Yeah.
They're bringing the woolly mammoth back.
Well, I didn't like the last colourway they did it in, to be honest with you. So I'm glad.
Well, I was talking to Sean about this. She was just like, oh, that's a bit shocking, isn't it? I said, but would you go and visit in a zoo? She went, yeah, I probably would. But she drew the line at dinosaurs, apparently. We've watched too many Jurassic Park films.
If they had one at the wildlife park, that'd be amazing.
Well, I reckon when we were kids, it was Dolly the sheep. Can you remember?
Yeah,
cloned the sheep, and it was like mind blowing. But
because they sold a woolly jumper made from her first lot of wool and everything that went for absolutely millions.
Yeah. Well, so now we're at the point where we can bring back extinct species.
Yeah.
Just seems incredible.
Yeah.
It really does, and how scary. Well, yeah, how scary could the future be? Or maybe exciting in terms of we don't, well, not worry, but any animals that do go extinct now, can we start storing their DNA in hopes that in the future, there could be a program to bring them back?
But it's a weird one, isn't it? Because, obviously, the impact that we as humans have had on this planet is devastating, quite frankly.
It depends who you listen to, Mr.
And so there are animals that have gone extinct because, they would have done anyway, and it's probably just the natural order of things. But there are animals that we have just either intentionally or unintentionally killed the crap out of.
Yeah. I think there's more species that we've killed that have gone extinct than perhaps natural extinction.
Yeah.
Because even if you count all the dinosaurs and pterosaurs, we've probably still extinct a lot more species. Generally because we like the taste of them.
Yeah, or something on them's quite pretty and we'd like to be able to sell it.
Yeah. So, generally capitalism is what makes all these animals extinct.
Yeah. Did you hear recently they discovered a new type of gibbon?
No.
It was. They've named it the Skywalker Gibbon because it never comes down from the trees. It literally goes from tree to tree to tree to tree and never comes down to ground.
Right.
So they called it the Skywalker Gibbon, and they discovered it and kind of looked around them for a bit, counted up how many there were, and went, "We've discovered a new gibbon. It's on the endangered list." Because they've discovered a species that there aren't many of.
Talking about things there's not many of, this was another weird tech one I read recently. They've started flying drones over like the Amazon rainforest and other really dense jungles with LiDAR on.
Right.
So then they map the entire jungle floor, and they're doing it for archaeology.
Oh.
And they're finding hidden cities that we've never known about, and then they've got to try and get in to the forest, but these sort of forest jungles are so dense that you just can't do it. And they finally got to one recently, and I think they had to go something like 3 miles on foot, but they were only moving like a few hundred meters at a time, just because the jungle was that dense
so
to be able
thick,
to chop it all down and move through. And I think because we're so invested in sort of consumer grade technology, then when you sort of do expand, you read and you find about things like the Mammoth coming back and using this technology to discover lost cities, you appreciate just how much technology is advancing forward in all walks of life.
Yeah, definitely.
It's incredible.
And you only need to see a video by Boston Dynamics to be absolutely terrified by it.
Oh my god. I can remember years, must have been a while ago now, because I could see the video, and it was a really creepy YouTube video just showing these robots that could fly.
Right.
And they flew through the air like penguins swim through water.
Oh, I remember.
Can you remember
that?
it?
Yeah.
And I do wonder whatever happened to those. Because they moved unreal, didn't they?
Yeah.
It looked sci-fi.
It really did,
because you never seen anything move through the air.
Yeah, because you used to seeing static wing or bird wing, basically.
Yeah, so something to swim through the air just seemed spooky, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And I wonder if that went military and those are actually currently in use somewhere, because they were spooky.
Yeah.
Because there's a robot lab at Sheffield Uni.
All right.
And there was a scene in that particular video, where there's a big atrium that's like 10 stories high.
Yeah.
And they have that at the university.
Right.
And they do the swarm robots in it.
Oh, cool.
So there's like lots of mezzanines and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, to fly the bots in there.
Well, that's where Noel Sharkey works, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, Noel Sharkey was the one of the judges on Robot Wars, because he was the professor of robotics from Sheffield University.
Yeah, so must be in there then, because they finished it, say they finished it. They were holding lectures in it when I was there, but it wasn't actually finished.
Yeah.
Because I remember the first lecture we went in, there weren't even like the screens or the projectors or anything. It was just tables and chairs, because they hadn't quite finished the building, but they had to start using the space.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to try and visit this year and see just how far the robot lab has come, because it's been 2-3 years now, so there's got to be swarms flying around. Maybe it's even going to be one of those spooky flying robots.
Yeah, there's kind of like displays made out of them. They just move around and display different coloured lights depending on what they want to show. You haven't got a PowerPoint presentation, you've got a robot swarm presentation.
The robot just comes into the room, projects it, and then leaves.
It's like one of those old cartoons where the bumblebees form words in the sky.
Well, that happened at Super Bowl.
But not at the Super Bowl.
No, well, it's apparently because of FAA rules, I want it.
Yeah. But I think the thing that got me the most about that Super Bowl performance was how much Lady Gaga committed to jumping off that roof. That was a proper... There was no kind of warm-up and, do I dare? It was a proper just like, okay, I'm off, boom, wah!
I've read about this, but I haven't seen the video. Have you seen the guy who did the slam dunk with the drone?
No.
Because it was the dunk contest.
Right.
And he used a drone.
Okay.
So I believe the drone passed him the ball.
Oh,
and then he did the dunk. So it's obviously out there on the internet to see. And apparently it's because his mum works at Intel. Which just made me laugh. Can I imagine? 6'9", 25-year-old basketball player going, Mom, have a drone.
Does seem a bit crazy.
Yeah, just so happens to, because They were Intel drones at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they were, because they displayed the Intel logo at one point.
It'd be even better if they'd done the chime noise.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
Although, do Intel do the chime anymore?
I don't even know.
That was really big when we were kids, wasn't it?
Yeah,
the
definitely.
Intel chime. Or you didn't have a proper computer if you didn't have Intel. I had AMD. It was a lot cheaper.
Yeah, we were poor. We had AMD.
Hey, I had AMD, didn't have Civics, thank you very much.
Snob.
No, I can remember Civics being so bad it didn't even have the entire x86 instructions. So it was great right up until the point where I tried to do a calculation and couldn't do it, and then just fall over.
Never mind.
No.
Right, any other things you want to talk about?
No, I did have a lot to talk about, Neil, but the problem was, because I'm an early adopter,
You had a tech fail.
I upgraded my app, which keeps track of all the news articles that I want to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, it turned out the update broke that. I lost all my research for this week's show.
Dagnabbit.
So hopefully next week there'll be a bug fix to the
Yeah.
app, and I'll be back on track moving forward.
Yeah.
But this is it. We're back into the swing of things now, aren't we, Neil?
This is the plan.
This is the plan. A weekly thing.
Yep.
I mean, just in time. You know what it's just in time for, don't you?
Mobile World Congress.
Mobile World Congress.
Oh, good. We can talk about phones.
And now I think there's going to be at least one new phone.
Do you reckon?
Well, I reckon S8's going to be shown, don't they?
Oh, right, yeah. And then there's a billion HTC rumours going about, and LG as well.
No, I think has that not come out? Because I saw a piece today about the camera that's on it.
I don't know. Maybe. It's Mobile World Congress. There's going to be lots of phones to talk about, and possibly news about the 3310.
Maybe we're just going to buy one and
Play Snake. Yeah, £60 Snake emulator.
Well, Grayson plays Snake all the time.
Oh, really?
On his Android phone. Although it'll be this, it's not proper snakes. I can guarantee that it looks like a snake.
Yeah.
And is eating apples. But proper snake is a black line and a black dot.
Yeah.
That's proper Snake.
Definitely.
That's how you should be playing Snake.
Do you know what? I don't think I'd want to play Snake without physical buttons.
Well, I suppose Grace has never known physical buttons on the phone.
But I just think, I just don't think the experience would be the same.
Do you think physical buttons are going to make a comeback?
On phones?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I remember going into a Vodafone store last year and having a look at the BlackBerry Priv, which had got the physical keyboard, and I was like, that's actually a really nice looking phone.
Because the one thing I've got to say about physical buttons is a button can have long press, 1 click, 2 click, 3 click.
Yeah.
So you've got 4 actions per button.
Yeah.
So once you can start mapping that to complicated functions on your phone, physical buttons actually have quite a useful purpose.
Yeah. And wasn't there something not so long back about saying the future of smartphones is physical buttons rather than touchscreens?
I don't know. Well, have you heard the rumour about what the iPhone 8 is going to do?
No.
It's going to have the capacitive strip like the OnePlus 3T.
Oh. I really like the capacitive buttons. That's the one thing.
Well, I'm saying it's not going to be capacitive, but do you know, in terms of there's going to be a function row that pops up.
Right, okay.
Because then that's going to give you like an indicator of where the built-in fingerprint readers go. Although the rumour is now it's going to be face detection. But I reckon they're going to have the function row at the bottom. Yeah,
I do like that. And coming from the OnePlus 2 to my Mate 9, I was a little bit sad to see that go. But I've got used to it now. I still think that the fingerprint sensor on the back of the phone should be like the equivalent of a home button. When I've got a full screen app open, I'd do it. I even do it like 2 or 3 times. I'll press the fingerprint sensor and why is it not taking me home? And then I've got to swipe up from the bottom of the screen to make the buttons appear to then press home. It baffles me why
that's just it. When you get rid of all the buttons, you end up having to do multiple gestures to replace one button press.
Yeah.
So from a UX perspective, I don't see that as moving forward.
No.
From a design perspective, you can argue you're making cleaner lines in terms of getting rid of all the buttons, but I don't know. I quite like a few physical buttons, and I'm afraid we're moving, because arguably Apple are going to get rid of all the buttons.
Yeah.
The touch bar is getting rid of the buttons because essentially then it allows it to be multi-purpose and it can show whatever it needs to at any particular point in time.
Yeah.
But I like buttons, I really do.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean, other than there is the button on the side for on and off, and the volume buttons.
Because I'll tell you what button I love, because the iPhone's got this and the OnePlus 3T's got it. I like the fact that you can just flick the phone onto silent.
Yes. But
I love on the OnePlus 3T, it has the 3-level notification setting.
Yeah.
I think that is really clever.
Yeah. Although I have to say, as somebody with a OnePlus 2 that had that on it, they would quite frequently just get switched in your pocket.
Would it? Was it not firm enough?
It was pretty firm. It felt firm, but there were times I get it out of my pocket, I'm like, what? Why is that there? Plus, again, being on Android, I have my phone set up with this, then that, so that when I arrive at work, my phone goes onto silent, and when I get home, it comes off silent. So,
well, I wonder if Apple did obviously spend time doing this, didn't they?
Yeah.
To know which way round to orientate the switch for it to be not accidentally triggered when in the pocket.
Yeah,
because it's a different orientation on the OnePlus 3C versus the iPhone.
Yeah.
And something tells me Apple spent the time and money
probably
to figure out which orientation reduce accidental triggers.
Yeah, because it is, as it's in your pocket on the OnePlus.
Because you would scrape it down as you put it into your pocket, wouldn't you? Whereas you can't
do that with the
iPhone.
No, because it goes front to back.
Yeah. So buttons, that's what I want to see at Mobile World Congress.
Yeah, more buttons.
More buttons. I want a touch screen with 15 buttons on it.
Wasn't there something a few years back where they were saying that they could actually make the screen raise up where buttons were displayed?
Do you know what? Someone else again released that. It was about a month ago. I wrote a piece on my blog. And yeah, they're using, it's like little electrical impulses.
Yeah.
And so it makes it feel like
there's a button.
There's a button there
under the on-screen button.
Because I was really excited for that in terms of, from a Braille perspective, it'd be incredible.
Yeah.
Because Braille could now be on any flat surface.
Yeah.
And then just in terms of feeling your way around on a screen, if the buttons feel like they're raised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a really interesting idea, but the problem is still with those companies. They need to make such a compelling prototype that Samsung, Apple, Huawei, or someone buys them.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do. And I don't think any of those companies ever got to the point where they gave a compelling demonstration of why this technology.
No, it's just one of those videos that you saw and thought, oh, that's cool, and then you forgot about it for 2 years.
There's lots of technology that does that, though.
Yeah, totally.
Because I'll tell you what, when I was at university in psychology department, one of the really big things was eye tracking.
Yeah.
And honestly, the amount of research and money that was going into eye tracking at that point in time was huge.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't see it.
And it resulted in that phone from Amazon.
Well,
with like 17 cameras on it.
In the past year, everyone's been buying up eye tracking companies.
Oh.
Some of the, because there's lots of acquisitions you don't really get to hear about.
Yeah.
But apparently the last year, the new hotness to buy
is eye tracking.
So that, what they're doing with eye tracking, I don't know. Maybe, in terms of all the filters like in Snapchat and stuff, where it does it to your face, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't use Snapchat, so I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I don't know.
So they call it, you use Snapchat, don't you?
Used to.
Oh, I don't know. So maybe there's something in that where eye tracking could add, or it could even be in VR, in AR.
VR is probably going to be a big place for it, actually.
When you're starting to look, and then it can start to think, because I would imagine, just thinking out the top of my head, if they know which way you're looking, maybe they don't have to render everything else in as much detail.
Yeah.
So it could then reduce the computational power.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they want eye tracking.
Possibly.
But yeah, it's big at the minute. So who knows, that technology, that screen technology, could become big 3-4 years down the line.
Yeah.
When we're at the point where people are like, we're ready for that technology now because we can put it into this and this and this and this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
But right now, the only use case I can think of is mobile phones. But apart from like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. It's not a big feature,
Look at 3D Touch that Apple did.
What's that?
Exactly. The only time I do it is when I accidentally remember that I've got it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't compelling enough. And the reason it wasn't compelling enough, third-party developers didn't jump on board.
No.
The first-party demonstrations of it were all, well, it's not actually adding that much to the user experience.
And it can be imitated with a long press anyway, because there were apps that
were mimicking it.
Yeah, that brought it to Android with just using a long press.
Well, the problem was, right, if you're going over the speed perspective,
yeah.
Let's say we're doing Twitter and wanted to do a photo or a DM or whatever.
Yeah.
So you'd put the pressure, then you'd have to scooch across and go for the what, But the iPhone is so quick.
Yeah.
I could have loaded the app and pressed the icon and have done it.
Yeah.
And I think that was part of the problem. The shortcuts that people were choosing to put on that 3D touch
were pointless. Yeah.
They never got... The best use of it is on the keyboard. If you hit 3D touch, you can move the cursor.
Oh, right. Which an app I've got imitates.
And
the keyboard I use on Android.
And that's just it. I think it's a sort of UI/UX paradigm that isn't essentially needed. It was just... I think that year they wanted to put something in the phone.
Yeah.
And that was it. Because they don't even talk about it much.
No.
Amazingly now, do they?
Yeah. And just quickly nipping back to my phone and the Huawei Mate 9, one thing I'm really, really liking in it is being able to reply to messages from the notification tab. So...
You can do a quick reply on iOS though.
Yeah, but it's something I didn't have on my last phone. It's it's really handy if you're just wanting to quickly reply to somebody. They've just sent you a message saying, we're still meeting. Yeah, of course, see you in a bit. You don't have to fully open the app.
I still can't believe this hasn't been done, and it just seems like so obvious that I don't understand why it hasn't. Like, let's say I share a lot of articles on Facebook, don't I?
Yeah.
And Twitter that I read, I find interesting.
Yeah.
Why can't I, when I'm reading an article, say, share this to Facebook?
Yeah.
And it shares it. What?
Why is that so complicated?
That just seems like an obvious use case for a digital assistant. Share this to Facebook. Share this to Twitter. Send this to Neil over WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Why is that a 3 or 4 button press?
Yeah, it really shouldn't be.
It makes no sense, and that's the same on iOS and Android.
Yeah.
And I hoped that Google Assistant would do that.
Yeah. It's frustrating as well if you want to share in more than one place as well, because there's articles that think, I'll put that on Twitter and Facebook, but I literally have to go in individually into Twitter, it links in, there you go, that's done, okay, now I need to do the exact same thing on Facebook.
Unless you set something up with different stuff.
Yeah. Because
I've got that, but then it doesn't fluidly work, because if I post share something to Facebook that is less than 140 characters and includes a link, it only posts the characters to to Twitter, not the link.
Not the link.
But if it's over 140 characters, then the post that it puts on Twitter is the link to your Facebook one, so people see everything.
Right.
So quite often I'll get a message on Twitter saying, what are you talking about? There's no link.
Yeah.
I'm like, it didn't go over 140 characters.
Lame.
And yeah, you should, like you just said that, I should be able to say, share this to Twitter and Facebook. Boom.
Yeah.
Does it. Save this, whatever.
I think that is especially from Facebook's point of view, that they're not just wanting you to share it, they're wanting you to comment on what you're sharing. So it's not just literally share this, it's, I thought I'd share this because I found it really interesting.
Yeah, but you could easily add that.
Yeah.
Share this to Facebook. Because, for example, if you want to send a message to Twitter, you can say, post to Twitter, So when I'm reading an article, I can say, post to Facebook, and then the next words are the comment.
Yeah.
That's just something that's tidied up in how they do the natural language processing. I just can't believe that it's not there already.
Yeah.
It just seems like an obvious thing.
It does. Well, I think we should leave it there for today. I was back, I'd say with a vengeance, but it's not true, to be fair. But we're back.
We are back. We're gonna be regular.
Yeah. So, yeah. So yeah, we'll get it posted, get it shared in all the usual places, and we will see you next week.